Now, over the years, Nigeria has dealt with various security challenges, but it was a bit restricted to the Northern and Niger Delta region agitations, rather. The wave of insecurity is, however, sweeping through every part of the country now, almost on a daily basis. Tale of disturbances in the north, east, west, and south are being reported, leaving government and citizens grappling for a lasting resolution. While counting the cost of insecurity, it is impossible to ignore the thousands of lives lost, damage to infrastructure, the impact on the economy, and its effect on Nigerians. Joining me via Zoom from the UK to discuss Nigeria and the regional security challenges is Professor Ali Alao, visiting fellow and senior lecturer, Nigeria Defense Academy, and founder, Grassroots Mobilization for Good Governance. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning, Miss. Good to have you. Good to have a program.
All right, let's begin with your concern with regards to how the wave of insecurity and how it is sweeping through every part of the country. Like we pointed out, initially it was restricted to the north. Well, we see that it has swept down to every other part of the country. What do you make of this development?
Once again, thanks for having me on this very unique program. Well, security in Nigeria is something nobody see it coming, I must say, and at the same time, I would like to point out a very significant issue here. In many quarters, it has been said that it's due to this up and coming 2023 electoral election that has kind of like exacerbate, because the agitation, we have agitation, secessionists, and other than this, from all part of Nigeria, that of banditry, kidnapping, just name it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere now. And again, this is not really a Nigerian. I believe as a citizen, let the government, we should be a brothers and sisters keeper. They've made, lots of, paramilitary has been set up, vigilantes, what they call it, just of recent, I guess like almost a year ago, they have the one in southwest rather, called Amateku, which I believe is to kind of mitigate the security challenges in the southwest of Nigeria. But unfortunately, this hasn't really met the security challenges we haven't.
All right,
I haven't said this though.
All right. Go ahead.
I haven't said this though. I believe it's more than just agitation or secessionist. This has a political tone into it, which I believe is like a saying. If I should use the Yoruba stuff that says the masquerade dancing on the water, on the river, the one beating the drum is right underneath. We shouldn't look too far, as they say here in the UK. Be the meerkat. Meerkat means you be your next neighbor's watcher or keeper. But unfortunately so, I believe no matter the amount of what we might say in terms of armory or weaponry, this cannot really mitigate the problem. The issue is until every individual, be it market woman, not just restricted to gate man or security, everybody needs to see this as individual and collective responsibility in making sure there's our neighborhoods secured.
All right, I want to take you up on a statement you made talking about the political undertone. Would like for you to expatiate on that, because earlier you mentioned that some have said that because of the elections coming, this is not the first time we're having elections in the country, and like a lot of persons would say, it has never been this bad. So where is the political undertone coming from, and why? People's lives are being lost here.
Thank you once again. I would like to say most of these so-called agitators or secessionists, we hear them, the first thing they say, like I believe if you are really following, which I believe you have it in your record anyway, They say sit at home. Sit at home to do what? The people that ask people to sit at home, are they the one that are going to put food on their table? Again, from the southwest, you can hear they will say there is not going to be 2023. That goes to show the bottom line is there's not going to be election, there's not going to be, so this is what it's all about. It's all about is politics. It's all politics. So I mean, that's one thing we cannot just shun on the side and say, well, it's just the security and so on and so forth. These two elements goes pari passu, if I should use the Latin word. It goes together. Security, politics, or upcoming 2023 general election. Without doubt, this is, I believe, this is one thing we shouldn't just shun or overlook and or downplay and say, well, there's nothing really going on. What is really going on is, come 2023, they said it's not going to happen. So there's no way we can really just shun this on the side and say, okay, well, it's just a security issue. Again, they're saying there won't be election. What has that got to do with? What has that got to do with it? So that's one thing we need to kind of like scrutinize and look. Who are the people? Who are the, not just the agitator? These are just a foot soldier. Some of them are even victims. They say an angry man is an angry man. These people they are selfless. They have nothing to really bank on, unlike all these maybe 1,000 naira here or there being given to them and ask them to go and do the dirty job. So these are the people that need to be fished out. The people sending them out there to go and do this dirty job.
Now, are you saying that this, because of the political coloration that the insecurity is taking, it is undermining effort being put in place to addressing the challenges?
Yes, indeed, without doubt, ma'am.
So if we are to examine critically the political undertone, how do we address that? Because you mentioned earlier again that we need to begin to fish out perhaps those who are sponsoring all of the agitations and the things, the insecurity that are being witnessed in the country. How do we address that?
Thank you once again. I believe there's lots of, in the area of communication, the federal government and the state government, all the way to the local government, has a lot of work in their hands to do in terms of reaching out to everyday Nigerian. I'm talking of market woman, food seller, water carrier, and so on and so forth. That, look, is not in betterness of anyone for you to be allowed to be used, to be abused by these very people. I mean, imagine the one that has no job, that has no hope. 5,000 or any amount out there given to the he or she to go and do the dirty job, they are ready to go. Because guess what? They have no profession, they have no hope, they just believe, in as much you can give me this handout, I'm ready to do whatever you ask me to do. They are also, as well, I must say, they are victims of these very people that just want to tear Nigerians apart.
Invariably, government needs to address the issue of poverty. That's what you're saying.
People need to, yes, again, as I said, when we say government need to address the poverty, it's a comment on every individual to kind of like, I mean, when we say get a job, create a job. We've had government has set up different programs like, how will I call it, helping the farmers and so on and so forth. It has never been had in the history of West Africa, if I should say, not to exaggerate, the rice production explosion. Before now, we know what it's like. Nigeria used to export rice. Okay, well, that might be a starter. They should move into another sector. I.e., we should be a producing country, not just a consuming country. So I believe by creating jobs, we shouldn't wait for what our government can do for us or what we can do for our government. I mean, if 10 young men gather together, put up their proposal, maybe reach out to their local government, this is what we have in plan. We want to create this kind of small little factory. It might be block factory, water bottle factory, or whatever it might be, in a small scale. Gradually, I believe this can grow. What we need is a bottom-up approach, instead of looking what the federal government can do or the state government can do, but what can we do within our communal
But we cannot deny that there are lots of those who have come up with these initiatives that you have mentioned. We see the number of SMEs in the country, but the question or the issue they always put to the fore is the fact that there is no enabling environment rather for their businesses to thrive. And we look at the two-digit interest rate that comes from the banks. I mean, isn't that something for us to also look into?
That is true. You are really hitting the point. I believe federal government, CBN, need to do more. The interest rate in Nigeria is a killer, I must say. Even here in the West, we don't have it like this. They really give, a namely environment for SME to strive. I believe this is one area Nigeria really need to look into. They need to make it easy. They need to make this loan accessible to commoner, not only to those ones that can afford it. I believe that should be a starting point.
Now, looking back at the issue of insecurity, you mentioned the kind of responses regions came up with. You mentioned the Amotekun and also the Ebubagu that the South, governors of the South came up with. Again, there has been questions as to how the level of impact that we have, if that would be a game changer really for addressing the issues of insecurity in the state. But what more response can we see from states, not looking at regions now? Because as it is said, we have to localize our response to addressing issues of insecurity. What more can states do? Like you mentioned earlier, you said that insecurity is the business of everyone, and whenever government people are calling for state security or state policing, there seems to be this level of we shouldn't go there oftentimes when it comes to that conversation, especially from the federal government.
Well, I would like to say, you see, no matter amount of security outfit we create, a state, neighborhood watch, and the rest of it, the key issue we are not highlighting here is that the government and the people from the local government, to begin, are very far away from their people. There's no communication. There's no synergy between the government, the rules, and the rulers. So I believe the starting point should be, okay, we have most of the people, did they know the name of their chairman of their local government or the councillor? They don't know. They only see them maybe once a year, or once in 4 years, when the election period is coming by. After distributing whatever they need, the goodies they give them, that is it, until next 4 years to come. So there should be a communication, there should be a different sort of programs that can be created whereby the civic society can really synergize with their local government and the state and all the way to the federal government. But people don't even know the names of their chairman of their local government, let alone the state governor. So this is the thing. I believe there should be a synergy, a true rapprochement, a true communication between the government and these people. So I believe that should be a starting point. There's less communication as we speak. Most people don't even know who is governing them. All they see is, okay, well, maybe when come to the time of election, you started seeing them coming around with the loudspeaker saying to them, oh, vote for me, I'm so and so, I will do this, I will do that. But after that, until 4 years later, I believe there should be a lots of program. Okay, let's start example like that of maybe a football tournament from one neighborhood to another neighborhood, or bringing the market women together. Different programs they can do, which will really bring community cohesion. By so doing, there will be a synergy between the people and their government, or from the local government, so to start as a starter.
As much as communication is important, there are also those who believe that perhaps the government, state governments, like you are mentioning, should begin from the aspect of building trust. Will this that you have mentioned build trust with the people? Because for Lagos State, we have seen town hall meetings. These people engage. The governor has tried to engage with members of the state. I don't know if that is communication enough from what you have said, but how about building trust with the people? And if we have to do that, is communication the starting point as well?
Okay, well, as you rightly said, maybe it's a starter for Lagos government if you use that as a case studies. But after that town hall meeting, what next? Is there any kind of a communique? Here in United Kingdom, London, where I'm sitting, every constituency, every borough, as they know who is the commandant or who is the police officer assigned to that whatever. Once a month, you as a representative, you don't even have to be a legislator. You'll be a representative that goes to the police station. They will give you a police report, the success they've made so far this month, the challenges they are having. So you can take something back to your neighborhood and tell them that, look, this is what we've learned. So they work hands in hands, not just like, okay, when you see policemen, a lot needs to change. A lot needs to change, because when we say government, not necessarily has to be the governor one needs to see. The closest to the people are the police. When you see the police, are they friendly enough? Is there trust between the people and the police? No, of course not. So this should be the starting point. When we go out, what did we see in the local government? Maybe we went to go and apply for something. We saw the man there. Is he friendly enough? Does he give us enough information? Did we feel welcoming? So this should be a starting point, not only by one time town hall meeting or once periodic town hall meeting. That won't make that much change. It might make impact, but not that significant impact, I'm afraid.
Right. Before we let you go, let's get your final word with regards to all of these issues on security, or insecurity rather. If we are to have a holistic approach, you have mentioned communication. What more as a building blocks should we have aside communication?
Once again, I would like to reiterate, the first step is in every neighborhood, in every community. If you take Lagos, as you say, maybe Surulere and so on and so forth, who is the police commandant there? Who is the commissioner of police? Does the people know who this person is? Does he did they have a program whereby they bring the community leaders together and talk to them about, oh, this is the new police commissioner or officer that have been assigned? Did they have a meeting with with the community? Does the people know them? Only time they see maybe at the roadblock or at checkpoint. And again, there's the way they handle. Okay, let's say for instance now someone gets harassed at the police checkpoint. He goes back home and tells his people that, look, upon getting to this very checkpoint, this is what I've gone through. I was harassed, I was this. So the news goes around. But in a situation whereby they see police as a friend, a part of the community, this goes a long way. This should be a starting point, because the people you see, you don't see Mr. Chairman of local government, you don't see the governor of the state, but the people you see on daily basis are people like police, like the people you meet when you go to local government to apply for something, for papers or so. These are the people that these are the goalposts of the government, of any government. In a situation whereby these people are not really communicating with the citizens, it's going to be very, very difficult to have this kind of synergy we are talking about. No matter the amount of program we might set up, the gateway to the people, to the community, are those civil servants, from the police to the one serving in the local government and so on. So I believe the beginning, the starting point should be ability for these people to know how to communicate with the locals, because without the locals, it will be of no use them being there in the first place. So I believe there should be a synergy. There should be a new kind of induction for these very people representing the state or the local government, how to approach the citizen. Citizen has to feel sense of belonging, that they look, these people are not against us, they are with us. We need to work together. As I said before, using the word meerkat, whereby security should not be just police business. It should be everyone's business. When you see something that is wrong, you should be able to call attention of the people at the realm of security affairs in your locality. But before doing this, there must have been a friendship approach, or a kind of relationship between the one that they are trying to secure and the one that giving the security.
All right, and that quickly brings me to the aspect you've talked about, the role of government. Now, since we are talking about it is the business of everyone, security, what is the role of the people now, finally?
The role of the people needs to see that, look, It's like I said again, I like to use this Yoruba method. When your neighbor goes, when you belly felt, and your neighbor is going without something in their belly, I mean, the growing of your neighbor won't allow you to sleep. That goes to show attack on one and attack on all of us. We need to see it as everyone's business, not just waiting for police. When we kind of like feeling we are not secured, it should be everyone's business, from street to street, from house to house, from borough to borough. So I believe that should be a starting point. Not waiting for police. It has to be police. When we see something wrong, in most cases, these criminals, they live among us. We know who they are. But if we report, and we have the trust when we go and give the report to the police, hope they are not going to switch back on us that, oh, he is the one that came to give us that, to come and expose us. So these are the things we need to really look into before people can really have a true trust and confidence in the law enforcement agent. It's not a one-way traffic. It has to be a form of synergy whereby trust can be built bottom up.
Thank you so much, Professor Ali Alao, visiting fellow and senior lecturer at Nigeria Defense Academy and founder Grassroots Mobilization for Good Governance. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.